Fill up. Be sure to hit that like button, share this content, let that friend and neighbor know where to go when it's time to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. This including the Ice Wall. Shout out to you all. Cowboys pretty much trying to keep ground and get things moving and grooving. But unfortunately, it is a situation that now the pointing of the hands or fingers is in the way now. Yep. Cowboys, is this George Pickens worth it now? Come on. We're going to talk about this. Cowboys playoff bound, 9% chance too. All right. Five, four, three, two, and one. Hear ye, hear ye. Thank all of you all for rumbling and stumbling with me on this beautiful day. Cowboys, tough day for us. Real tough day. Let me see. Stephon Gilmore itching to come back to play football, I'm reading. Pay Pickens now. All right, good. Appreciate everybody, man. Hey, we don't need to have compound interest on the bad stuff. I get it, Cowboy Nation. We don't need to have compound interest on the bad stuff. We need to figure out ways to get things moving and grooving. I get it. We lost a game, 4 games in 17 to 18 days. The law of diminishing rates of return will bestow upon us. For anybody to think that we were just going to win it all the way through it, we got high hopes. But at the end of the day, these guys are human beings, and going on the road up north, coming off of an emotional win this past Thanksgiving, going into a game. And I'm not using these as anything of excuses, by the way, but these are the things that I'm getting feedback from. Also, I got a chance to get feedback on how some of the defense is being ran. And we'll talk about that down the stretch. But first and foremost, we're going to let the room fill up. Appreciate each and every last one of you all. If you guys are feeling good today, as far as in good spirits, put 9-4 in the chat. I appreciate y'all so much. I know that right now, on this day, we wanted to have a celebratory Victory Friday, right? Either two things can happen from this. Two things. Let me see if I can get it all straight and set up for me. So bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Two things can happen from this. Two things. Either you can look back at this loss and say, hey, this is who we are. If this was an elimination day, we'll be packing our bags, thinking about blood, sweat, and tears back out there for training camp next season, right? But no. You still have life, which is a small life of a 9% chance. Eberflus Bears 8668. I feel you, man. We're gonna talk a little bit briefly on that. Appreciate you. Buck says, Law, you one of the best to do it. Great point. The boys played 3 games in 12 days. That's crazy. And at the same time, I'm not looking for flowers for that, right? We can look back at the games. I think we lost 5 games this season. Whereas the opposition, whereas we scored 30 points or something crazy like that. You're supposed to win those games. So our defense is letting us down. Our defense is letting us down. Our offense is letting us down. The team is letting us down, not an individual. And that is what George Pickens was trying to say to Richard Sherman. We're going to play that audio. But before we get that, let's listen to this piece of audio from Ryan Clark.
So first off, for what George Pickens has to understand is this entire season, all he's received is applause. And he's earned that.
Yeah.
And so now the boos are going to be as loud as the applause. And Cam used the analogy that sometimes wide receivers play possum. Well, we needed him to be a raccoon.
Yeah.
I needed him to be a savage last night. I needed him to go out and show me how much it mattered to him. And just like
is right now is Schottenheimer. Hold on, pause it. Is Schottenheimer right now live right now? Put it in the chat. Is he live right now? Come seeing updates. Is he live right now on YouTube? Y'all can let me know. Or 105.3 The Fan. Let me know in the chat. I know timings are crazy. Let me see if he's live right now. Is he live right now? You know, I didn't think to even check, to double check. Appreciate all of y'all. Or was he live earlier? Yeah. They don't do a lot of promotions, man. When we lose, they don't let us know. Let me see. Yeah.
The thing is just the fact that I just got out of Pittsburgh.
So he's not live. Okay, I'm just double checking, man. All right, so I'm seeing some quotes, some quotables that's coming in from him. All right, so I'm going to finish playing this audio first. Hold on.
I'm rooting for George Pickens. Just like you, I like George Pickens. And Cam is talking about the way we watch film. Here is how we watch film. Let me talk from a defensive standpoint.
Okay.
When we turn the film on, when you look at your grade sheet, at the end of your grade sheet, there's something called the loaf. So let's say Stephen A is running the football down the left sideline and I'm on the opposite side of the field or the middle of the field. If you're still running and I'm not sprinting to tackle you, sprinting to get in the film or get into the view, then that's a loaf for me. This is the same thing we're seeing from George Pickens. So first off, for what George Pickens has to understand.
You can't change the mentality on some of these individuals. Unfortunately, we can. It's part of the traits, man. It's part of it. I can't make this stuff up. It's part of it, and I'm not saying. I don't want us, and this is what I'm trying to get at. I do not want us to find a lane and start painting that and saying that this is who he is. We've seen all of the greats. Not, you can't name me one great, I guess, in basketball and football, maybe in some other sports that I haven't followed closely, that they didn't have an off night, right? That they didn't have their chins on the ground dragging as long as Jay Leno's face because they are not getting the block or they're not being able to get things to go their way. People, y'all got to tap into the realisms of it, right? The game plan was flawed for our wide receivers. Let me say this again. The game plan was flawed as it relates to our wide receiver and our passing attack. The game plan for the Lions was well thought out. They said, we're going to pick on your linebackers. We're going to get them moving diagonal, right? We're going to challenge their COD, change of directions. We did a great job, ladies and gentlemen, on stopping the run. But when it was 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, they knew what they needed to do. Spread it out, throw the ball to Gibbs. Gibbs versus 59. I would take Gibbs over that any day, even twice on Sunday. We held Gibbs to 2.8 yards per rush. We stopped their run, but we didn't stop their scheme and their philosophy and how they cooked us. As great as we talked about 1A, 1-2 or 1A, 1B with these wide receivers, even CeeDee Lamb didn't get a chance to look at the ball until it was the second quarter. Matter of fact, we didn't start to pay attention to George Pickens' way until Lamb went down technically. So that was the tip of the second quarter. I'm not saying that these guys shouldn't loaf. I'm not saying that these guys shouldn't play through the echoes of the whistle because they are not getting the attention. But when we say that these players are divas, wide receivers are divas, you got to treat them such. You got to figure out a way. You can't be dialing up a game plan and saying, I'm featuring Jake Ferguson. I'm featuring Schoonmaker. These were the guys that was getting the rock, baby. That's who they featured. But when you turn on that tape, you don't have to even know football. You can clearly say to yourself, the Lions made it their business to feature Brown. They made it their business to feature Brown. St. Brown. Ahmad St. Brown. They matched him up with Reddy Stewart, and he wasn't ready. Reddy wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. Jeez. He was playing with inside leverage, thinking that he got inside help, and it was middle of the field. Re-rattle golf on the first and the second series. For us to say we rewarded him by saying, okay, let's take it light on him. Let's drop our guys 7 and 10 yards back. Everybody that did any shape, form of film analysis and film study on J-Mo, on Brown, and as well as the Tesla kid, the tall kid from Arkansas, they struggle on getting off of their presses and their releases. Historically speaking, now J-Mo, now if you try to, Jefferson, if you try to, baby, you know what I'm saying, press him and miss, then he could take it to the house. I get that. That's why you're supposed to roll coverage his way. Press Brown. And press the tall kid. And we didn't do none of that. But on the flip side, you saw Dan Campbell utilizing his resources to put his receivers in favorable situations. And I'm going to say this, if we really want to win, whether it be the rest of the season or next season, there's not a soul that can convince me that Jake Ferguson is a better tight end all around or have higher potentials than Brevin Spanford. There's not a soul that can convince me because I just believe in what I'm seeing, and when I look at something, I know what I'm seeing. We had that conversation just about yesterday when we looked at Fairweather, Princeton Fant, to a degree a smaller one, John Stevens or Joe, whatever that Stephen Smith kid, whatever his name is, whatever he kept, John Stevens, I believe. Yeah, all of those tight ends are better than Schoonmaker. And I'm not beating up Schoonmaker. I just hate the part that the Cowboys do a lot of political stuff as it relates to this tight end situation. And I could be 1,000,000% wrong. But if I guarantee you, if I had a multiverse and it was me operating this team and I had Brevin Spanford as my tight end 1 and Fairweather as my tight end 2, I'm beating y'all left and right, athletically speaking too. There's nothing that you can say that Jake Ferguson, outside of probably experiences, that he is better than Brevin Spanford. And they block just as decent. Rose says, do they block better? just as good. They block just as good, But I'm not trying to make it about them though. But there are things that you guys going to see down the stretch, And if it wasn't for an injury to Brevin Spann-Ford, they probably would have looked at it like, hey, you know what, Jake, you good, but this dude right here, we caught lightning in the bottle, baby. Shoot. Fairweather is a guy that should have gotten a chance and an opportunity.
Loaf. Right. It's the same thing we're seeing from George Pickens. When you run the slant, which we can't give him the excuse that the schematics are basics, because this is how he won the game last week against the Kansas City Chiefs. He ran a slant. He ran an inside route, and then he turned up down the sideline. He finished the game on an inside route because he ran hard, because he came back to the football. George Pickens knows that effort wasn't enough. George Pickens knows that people are watching him just to see these things. And I'm not going to question his loaf. Right. It's the same thing we see his football character here. I'm going to question his awareness. Because, see, what happened to me was when they told me, when Tom Coughlin looked at me and said, I don't believe you're big enough and physical enough to play safety in this league. You know what I said? I'm going to try to kill everybody I hit from now on. And if I'm going to be out the league and if they're not going to give me a job, it won't be because of that.
Hey, man, I ain't going to hold you, man. I like that. I like that. Hey, Ryan Clark, he's spitting the truth right there. And some of these words from former players, they do get up under your skin, especially when you start talking about this. It comes with the territory, y'all. It comes with it. When we say that these wide receivers are divas, you got to feed them early. You can't wait. You can't wait. You There's some people right now that's watching this. And I'm not beating up Ferg, y'all. I'm not beating up Ferg. I'm not saying that he's a waste of space or any of those things. He got a good personality. He's a good guy off the field as well. But what I'm saying is, if I had a talent show and I had Brevin Spann-Ford on the right side and you pick Ferguson, I'm winning. I'm winning every day. If we had a talent show, if I line them up laced, if I had a choice to pick and to pitch and catch, I'm winning. I'm just saying from what I can see. But all right, let me get back to this storyline. Divas are divas. There's some people right now that's watching this that's dating a diva, right? Or married to a diva. You fool around and you say, babe, I'm finna go out and grab something to eat. And she said, I'm not hungry. And you come back with a plate full of food. It's finna be something that's finna be said, you know? So that's just for what it is. Pickens and Lamb was hungry. They didn't get a chance to see an opportunity until the mid-second quarter. And then Pickens didn't get a chance to CD Lamb got up out of there. I'm not making these things as it relates to saying that, hey, we should draw plays to appease them, but that's from every wide receiver outside of probably Jerry Rice that complain about getting the ball. And I think Jerry Rice, even he cheated by getting some stickums on his glove. Oops, did I say that out loud? Most coordinators, they look at their star-studded wide receivers and they say, hey, I got to feed him. I got to feed him. I got to make sure I give him some opportunity early so he won't get cold. So when he's pressing these routes, he's running against two, that he can at least get an opportunity. The Cowboys got to do that. The Cowboys got to do that. And Eric, you got to send that money on over there, man. Come on with it.
If I'm George Pickens and I know I am ultimately talented, top 5 talented, and all they ask from me is effort, you're going to have to stop me from running. George Pickens let himself down more than anything last night. It's football.
It's crazy. So there's two ways you can look at this. Either you can say, all right, cool, we got something that can work. And it's gonna be pricey, and these are the things that are gonna come with mood swings. It's gonna come with highs and lows. It's gonna come with that. Or you can sit back and say, well, I just deal with the Tolberts of the world and the Jalen Brooks of the world. We're a long way from Jalen Tolberts and Jalen Brooks. If you give me that versus what they do, give me that. Give me the Pickens that's upset right now and watch what can happen. Y'all just was praising the man 2-3 days ago, and then after this game, it changed the minds of everything, right? Yeah. Officials wanted to, yeah. My God, what he says, Dak Prescott, 2 interceptions. He keep throwing the football in tight coverages. I feel you, but hey, where that $25 at? Where that 2 of the 5 at? I need to have that. I need to have that within 5 minutes. Lukey wants to get paid. Does he want to get paid? We paid him too. Well, right now, Hunter Lukey is your highest paid running back on the team with $7.5 million, twice or triple the amount of money that Javonte is making. Nigel says, do you think the game plan was to feed CD and GP, but Dak likes to spread the love all around? Our game plan was punched in the mouth. The Cowboys thought that they were going to be able to run that ball a little bit. Yeah, they thought they were going to be able to run the ball. They stopped us to averaging 3 yards per tote. And the Cowboys thought also that they'll be able to stop some pressure. The whole game was inverse, flipped to his side. Law Rebel Daddy. Why you gonna call him Daddy, man? Call him Dad, man. Lie, that's my son. Riggs. Hey, man, leave my guy alone, man. All right, appreciate you, Eric Stewart, for the $19.99. We didn't have a game plan outside of running to set up the play action, and our game plan was stumped. We thought we was going to be able to push them around, and we didn't get a chance to do such. At one point of a time, Dak Prescott had the biggest yards to game by running the ball.
Eric Stewart, $3,167, 19.99.
And we do have to have better ball security as well, especially with our wide receivers and running backs and beyond how they toting the ball. We got to have better ball security. We got to have better tackles on the outside. I'm not going to say we need better everything, but dog, man, it's one of those things, whereas the Cowboys got to do better.
At a reasonable standard for how often receivers do this, right? Like the first play you showed me in break, Bobby, was George loafing off the line off a running play. Like, I'm not expecting you in a realistic world to be Hines Ward every single rushing play. The problem here is that these were balls. These weren't like routes where George wasn't involved and it was going to the other side. These were plays being thrown to the man. That's what's extra alarming about this. And again,
all right, so what do we want? Do y'all want that? do we want that? Because it's the flagship station. There are more people that listen to this station that's in Dallas that's casual fans that can also triculate all of what we're hearing now to the eardrums of everyone. And once that cast of light, of negative light is upon you, now we're saying, okay, the great I told you so media. And they all just was waiting to say, hey, I told you so. I told you that's who Pickens is, and that is the reason why. That is the ultimate reason why they got rid of him. Now the trade is not a good deal anymore. We got Jay Versi says, can we get a new special teams coach? Yeah. We definitely need that. Let's listen to this Jerry Jones on the loss of the Lions.
Do you see the Lions as a team that's been there, knows how to win and prepare for those big games, and maybe your team just isn't quite ready or in that same position yet?
No, I don't see that. I think they were at home, but, boy, we quietened that group down. We got there within 3 right there at the end of the game. I really thought it was going to happen for us right at the end of the game. And I thought we were within striking distance all the way through the game to get to that point pretty suddenly, which, if you think about it, we did. We were there ready to win the game. We get our stop, and we get that ball back, and that's the opportunity you've been looking for. That was all night feeling like we're being shoved around just a little bit. But they've got a great combination of offensive weapons with the way they run the ball, both backs' ability to make some yards. I like our back, boy. He's outstanding. And the point is, I know I'm bouncing around. It was disappointing, very frustrating. I not only thought going up there that we had a great chance to win, although we were on the road.
He don't sound like he mad enough. He accepted his fate right there. That's Jerry Jones on the loss to the Lions, said that we were in scoring distance with it. Wow.
I promise I'm not trying to get you in trouble with this. I just wanted to get your reaction to the play. It's 37-27. There's about 4 minutes left. Ferguson gets a pass towards him right towards the end zone, and a flag comes down. Did you, like all of the other Cowboys Nation fans, think it was about to be pass interference on the defense and we were about to have 1st and goal at the 1?
There was no penalty adverse to the Cowboys, just not one, period. And now, in a way, we live with those calls. We all do. And I'm a big believer in that. I voted for instant replay and voted against it 3 separate times when it was being instituted. Voted against it 3 times, voted for it 3 times. I like the idea of putting it in the officials' hands. They are not biased, and they do make mistakes, but the mistakes ought to come your way some and some others some. And, of course, Stephen is chairman of the competition committee.
All right, so Action says, tell Bland to get his ASS up. Ain't wet over there. Yeah, it's wow. Shout out to you. Thank you so much, Action Powell. Don't y'all, what's the difference between a mistake and a bad decision? Because a mistake is something that you accidentally do, right? You finna fix some eggs, you go in the refrigerator, you grab the carton of eggs, you didn't hold the top correctly, and it slips out your hand and 2 eggs hit the ground. That's an accident, which was caused by a mistake. Right? Yeah, we agree, right? We all agree that's a mistake. But a bad decision would be you open the refrigerator up, you throw the cartons in your hand, you grab 3 eggs and you juggle them, and then you drop 2. That's a bad decision. But what we got to stop doing is when somebody take those things and they juggle the eggs and they drop them and he said, oh, I made a mistake. No, you made a bad decision. The NFL got to get out of making bad decisions and calling it a mistake. Man, they got more than 4K. I'm thinking they shooting at 8K now, baby. They got all of the reviewings of the tape. And you can see with your natural eyes that he wasn't at fault. And they go and they huddle, they look at everything, just own up to it and said, hey, we had a bad call there. It was no penalty. You would did better of not calling any penalty. You got it right there on tape. Upon further review, there was no penalty on the play. And keep it moving. Instead of saying, hey, offensive pass interference, that's tacking on 15 more yards. Just own up to it. I think the NFL would be better if they were more transparent from that aspect. But to just sit back with a natural face and say, yes, it was offensive pass interference, when Ray Charles, he dead end blind, could see that it wasn't. And I get what Jerry Jones is saying. What's good for the goose is also good for the gander. So you should also be able to get some your way. But when it's clear and obvious, they need to call it right. And stop milking the bull over here, right?
I understand the mistakes that officiating make. Where I always look for improvement is the determination back, whether it's be the off season or back in New York, about how we're going to emphasize certain calls, because they vitally make a difference in the outcome of key games. But we did not have a penalty on that call, and these things have been going against us a little bit, not bias. I want to be sure and emphasize that. But we touched the ball the other day when we actually touched the kick, and we didn't get that done. So it make you maybe want New York to have more input into what they're seeing on television.
Hey, Jerry gonna get fined for that one. Jerry said, hey, it's 2 weeks in a row now. We touched the ball and they said that we didn't touch it. And then on that particular situation, he was saying that there was no flag that should have been thrown, basically, And trust me, Glenn, I'm not complaining. I'm explaining this situation. That's my duties here, to talk about the things that's going on, right? This is not me whining. This is me explaining. And I'm not complaining. I said the Lions won. They're a very good team. They are the third-ranked defense now in the National Football League. They are the third-ranked offense. Overall, they're the second-ranked overall team. And you can see that when they're hot, they're hot. When they are planned to make a game, you got to make sure you bring in your lunch pail and double chin strap it up and be ready. I love the fact that Campbell brought physicality to the table. I love that. I can't complain about that at all. You want teams at their best, not at their worst.
Well, Jerry, I know there's still a lot of emotion going into this and everything. A lot of fans, you're seeing, the season's over. You're seeing some people say, no, you still have these, you got the 9%. Where are you? Where are you mentally after the morning after that loss last night?
I, too, knew what was at stake about our odds of getting in the playoffs. We have a better team than we played last night. We do. Detroit is a good team, but we have a better team. And so can we literally win out? Of course we can win out.
Hey, that picture right down there of Jerry's, wow. Here's what I'm going to say about the playoff chances and everything. It's still options. You got 9% chance. But when you saying better, that's not the angle. Scheme is what you need when your talent is not there. You need to be able to exhibit your scheme, your system, your philosophy. And what coaches do, good coaches or great coaches, by the way, is that they transfer the knowledge that they have onto the players or into the hearts and minds of the players. And what you're seeing is basically 53 other men who's acting as if though they are Dan Campbell. That's coaching. You begin to become the identity of your coach when your coach is coaching right, because your mindset begins to fall upon what the coach is trying to do, and you begin to become the miniature version of that. Troy Aikman, at the tail end of his career, they had to will that 1995 Super Bowl into it. And that wasn't the tail end of his career, it was right there in the mid, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. It wasn't because of Barry Switzer, but he had to go back to the time when Johnson was here, and he had to will the things that Johnson poured upon him, and you guys got a chance to see that, and that's leadership. So down the stretch, the longer we keep Schottenheimer, there's going to be miniature mindsets of Schottenheimer on this team if he's any great of a coach. You become the identity of what the coach tried to bring, and that's what we call programs, right? So that's just for what it is. That's just for what it is. Listen to the rest of this right quick.
Is it going to be hard? Double, of course, it is to win out. And a lot of crazy things happen. And so I think very much that we should look at last night with what might have been, and I like to do that, nothing wrong. I live in a lot of my past, and it has never kept me from doing something for the future and present day. So I like to daydream. I like to do it all. I like to remember all the years with everybody I loved and all of that stuff. So I don't walk around in a daze, but it's a big part of living to me. But we've got to look at the very narrow chance that if we get out here and play better than we played last night, yeah, we can be still playing when playoff time comes.
All right, so the difference is and I feel y'all. It's going to be similar to a lot of love-hate relations, you know. When we lose, especially, going to be a lot of love-hate. There's going to be a lot of love-hate with this particular staff. I don't know if this is a disciplinarian situation. I'm not trying to be a contrarian here. Remember, I'm Tartarian. You guys get what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is I'm trying to choose my words. And there's no wrong way to eat a Reese's, right? So let me see if I can structure my words. The day of the fearing of the head coach is long gone. I don't think that there will be a time, and especially how the emotions runs heavy here in Dallas, especially what happened with 9-4 and beyond. I don't think that there will be a situation and scenario that players here in Dallas, the culture, that they would ultimately fear what we got as far as the staff. I don't think that they would fear this staff like they did with Jimmy, and that was over 30 years ago. But if we go at least around 20 years ago, a little less than 20 years ago, a little bit right at the tip of 20 years. Well, it's a little more than 20 years now. When Bill Parcells was here, of course, people were walking around with eggshells. So I don't think that you're going to get that here. And I don't think that you're going to see the autonomy like what you're seeing in Lions land of how their coaching staff is assembled, right? And their GM and beyond. So what I'm saying is that I don't know that there's I don't know if there is a situation and scenario that this team is going to get pissed off enough and be angry enough and be fiery enough to be that way, right? Like talking about biting off kneecaps. I'm not saying that that's the way we should go, but I'm just saying collectively, I think that the passive aggressive way is going to be here to stay for a long time. But I said all of this to say that maybe this is Schottenheimer's first year, and we can't judge Schottenheimer collectively of what he will become in his first year, because by far his first year is better than what Jimmy Johnson was able to exhibit and exude. It's better than what we see out of, even if I'm using Dan Campbell to a degree, it's better than that. Now, talent-wise, we have more talent and all this stuff, right? So that's where we can go and say, hey, where we going here, Law? If a program going to take 3 to 4 years to develop and that culture and everything, I don't want to wait that long. We ready to win now. Well, the sense of urgency got to start with Jerry Jones, if that's the case. Ice Cold Cowboy says Shotty is not bad at all. Yeah, I agree, man. Dub says head coach is not bad at all. Bad, honestly. So that's where we at.
Specifically, a lot of people are reacting to George Pickens' performance. Was that a red flag for you guys in any way?
No, that's they obviously had a plan for George, and the good news is CD was on his way to a career-type day before he had his concussion, and hats off to Flo. He stepped up, Flournoy, and stepped up and picked up where CD left off, but. We just, you can't be in a game like that and them score touchdowns and us kick field goals. And then, the killer, of course, which we always know is, they had 3 turnovers and we didn't take the ball away. And on top of that, we gave them too good a field position on special teams. And, it just led to, the situation that we ended up in. We gave ourselves a chance there at the end, but, when we cut it to 3 but couldn't get the big stop, and unfortunately we did get the job done.
No doubt. So Stephen Jones, who's trying to iron this out as the best way possible, the Cowboys got every bit of $21 to maybe $22 million, give or take, for the rollover money for next season. They got, and this money should be allocated to one of these players. But when we start to think about George Pickens and we looking at his money, which going to be $31 million, which I don't mind that at all. And he signed with David Mulugheta's team, Athletes First, and a lot of people been talking about, well, David Mulugheta represents George Pickens, and it's going to be another thing like what we just witnessed and what we just came through. So is this worth it of starting campaigns of saying, hey, the Cowboys tried to not target Pickens because they wanted to target Ryan Flanoy, so they're looking at the dollar amount and they're saying that, hey, if we can target Ryan Flanoy and show that he can get numbers up, then what the need and what the value of Pickens should be, right? And we should never travel down that road, by the way. So what I'm saying is that the Cowboys got enough money to pay this guy. Let's not play around with our food. If it's $31 million, let's figure out a way to get him there. And these contracts are based off of other wide receivers that's in the same ilk. You see Garrett Wilson. You see Brandon Ayuk. You see Jalen Waddle. You're seeing, to a degree, DK Metcalf. I'm looking at what George Pickens can do, and I got him above pretty much everybody on that list. Even DK Metcalf, because of the age or what have you. You got 3 years younger, 3.5 years younger, by the way. So, yeah, give me George Pickens over Jalen Waddle. Give me George Pickens over Brandon Ayuk. All of them boys are getting paid good money. So this should be a situation that the Cowboys don't look at one game and say, hey, we can't have those antics there, And I get it. People can say This is what's happening here. This is what. Let me see if I thought I had the response. He must have took it down by now. Let me see. Did I save it here? Did he take it down? He probably took it down. George Pickens did respond. I don't have it. Somebody else may have had it, but this is what he said. This is what I'm gonna paraphrase for what he said. But this is what was going on as it relates to what Richard Sherman said about George Pickens.
The big story here is George Pickens. George Pickens throughout the game, especially late in the game, just looked uninterested in playing football. You know, and that's what you can't have. If you're going to be a superstar, if you want to be the best receiver in the National Football League, you can never be disengaged. It doesn't matter if the game's going your way or not going your way. You can't just disappear in these games or else you're not going to have impact. And just right here, cruising routes. You're the guy. You're the guy. CD Lamb is not in this game. He's out, and you get intercepted on your slant routes, and you can't be the guy and half-ass it. And I'm sorry, that's just you can't. It's unacceptable. And if you're the Dallas Cowboys and you're looking at him and you're looking to pay him big-time receiver money, $40 million, you got to look at this tape and say, hey, is this a guy we can trust paying $40 million to show up regardless of circumstance? I don't know.
Had an off game, man. It happened. These are gladiators, too. Shin might be hurting calf, getting off of his releases, 4 games in 17 days. Out of the 4 games, right? 1 out of the 4 games, he have a bad game, and now we're ready to can him, you know. So it's crazy. He did respond. GP did respond to Richard Sherman. He called him a cat or what have you, and he went at him. And these are things that you have to ask yourself, is this something that you want now? Is this something that you would like to go at and have on this team to have and behold? Because I get it. We could talk about David Mulugeta, and this is his agent right here, the brother to the far right of the screen right here, Trevor Smith, I believe his name. Trayvon Smith. This is his agent right here. And, of course, they sign all under the athletes first. Do you want to go down there? You know, and I'm trying to keep it PG-13. We still got kids up right around this time frame. So it's going to be in the hands of, all right, my client deserved to get X, Y, and Z money. This is what he's looking for. What do you guys do in this particular parameter? What do you guys say to yourself? Okay, this is somebody that we going to go out there and have and secure, or we going to take away from this one particular game and say, hey, this is where we at now. It's crazy, but neither here nor there.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using code LAW. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
Download now, Sleeper, your #1 fantasy app. And then when you do such, $20 from me to you will be in your account. You can take that and parlay it around, play it around with that. And then on top of that, you take $100, you put it in there. And all of a sudden, magically, it turns into another 100. There's $200, man, plus 20. $220 that you can have in your pockets, baby. So download Sleeper and be sure to test that out for a chance. I got from the 423 Phil, you live on the Nation. Talk to me.
Hey, Law. Listen, man, there's a couple of things I want to remind you of that we talked about on your show.
Mm-hmm.
Now, first of all, I want to say I love the idea of having GP in Dallas. And I think we ought to show him a little grace and mercy.
Come on.
He's only 24 years old. And when you think about that, you know, if we could go back in time and change some of the things we did when we were 24, I think we would all be on board because we all made some mistakes when we were a kid, and that's basically what a 24-year-old is.
Yeah.
But we got to admit that he's gifted and and that he's shown himself to be mentally tough, and I expect for him to bounce back just like CD did. So I'm not troubled by, having 2 bad games out of 17 to 18 games. But let me say this. When I look at our team, I like the defensive line. I think we missed Jadeveon Clowney. I think we ought to play with that 5-man front. When you look at the numbers that we had, against that offense, we did well when we had a 5-man front. But when we went to the 4-man front, Williams was getting double teamed, and it made it harder for him to get to the quarterback, being double teamed. It really kind of neutralizes the ability for teams to double team us when we have that 5-man front. And just looking at the numbers, we have more of a success rate of getting pressure on the quarterback when we go to that 5-man front. Why he went away from it, I'm really not sure. But also I want to say in that secondary, we lack speed. We lack speed in the secondary. And we got guys on standby like Josh Butler.
Right.
We got Diggs. We got Stephon Gilmore. Why he's not on the team, I never know. I don't know if they worried about his shoulder and the issue that he had, 2 years ago. But the man played a whole season with Minnesota and helped them to have one of the best records in football, starting for Minnesota last year. We ought to bring him in, give him a drink of coffee, let him work out and see if he still got any gas in the tank. But in my mind, instead of playing with some of the safeties we got out there on the field,
right,
that's getting dog walk, when these wide receivers are running crossing routes, they can't run with them. You would do better to have more quarterbacks out there on the field that can run with these boys than to have, slow guys out there trying to keep up with them. That's just not working.
No doubt.
We've been trying that stuff, and that's what we started out with at the beginning of the year, and that was a mistake. And then one more thing.
Okay, and close.
When Detroit was playing against our 5-man front, they brought out that 6 offensive linemen to try to neutralize our 5-man front.
Yeah.
Now that's what I have been suggesting that we ought to do. We got, TJ
Bass.
I can't think of Bass.
Yeah.
We could have brought him out to help neutralize their front, but we didn't do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a mistake. There's going to be some games where we need to go jumbo. And there are, many coaches in the league doing it. Sean McVay, Sean Payton. I know those are 2 guys that have done it. It's another one that I had on my mind that, of course, Campbell just did it to us. And we don't try it. We want to put 2 tight ends out there. And I do like staying forward. I think there ought to be some rotations where we rotate him in and rotate Ferg out. Yeah. And let him get some reps in that spot.
Phil, appreciate you so much for calling in. Thank you so much for your support as well.
Thanks.
That's a good call from him. But yeah, I mean, all right. He said a lot there. What we're seeing that the Lions are doing, this is not their first night, not their first year. And what we tend to do, ladies and gentlemen, we see something that's good and we want to leapfrog and get there. But it took accumulations over years for them to get there. How many years Dan Campbell been coaching that team? So his fingerprints is all over it. His identity is all over it, right? The people and the personnel that they want is all over it. Like I said last night, Nate Thomas is cool. I like Nate Thomas. In a pinch, Costco sample size, I like him. The element of surprise. Oh, I didn't know that he can move like that. But when teams get prep time and a chance to match that and look at tape, same thing with Revel. I'm not finna beat up the kid. He got to have down moments. But team got tape on you. You look good when they don't have the tape on you, Jaden Daniels, Now they had tape on Jaden Daniels this year. Lack of some things, some tendencies were able. Yeah. So that's how I'm looking at it. I got Eric from the 206 in the mix. Talk to me. You're live on the Nation, brought to you by Sleeper.
What's up, guys?
Not much. Not much. Yeah, what's good?
Yeah. Oh, man, hey, I'm so sorry about that night. All of a sudden I had to go put just the way and then I feel that I missed my time.
Okay.
No, I mean, I called in last night, but I was not available at that time.
Oh, that's all good.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I've been meaning to call in for the last few weeks and talk about, I'm so sad about Marshawn Neyland.
No, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely one of those guys, but he just needed some help.
No doubt, no doubt. Most certainly, ask for help. So, Eric, what else you have for this game?
Let's see here. It's just, I think overall it was just not one of the best games last night. I kind of thought that maybe Dallas was going to come out with a little bit more fire, but that didn't happen. Just, they just did not play as well as I thought that they would last night.
Most certainly, man. All I can say is that we're going to get back to it. Hopefully we can show up a better showcasing versus the Vikings. And good luck to your Seattle Seahawks until the time we play them. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Eric. Let me hear you say it.
Oh, how about them Cowboys?
Yes, indeed. That's my guy, Eric, man. I got West Dallas, man, from the 630. You're live on the Nation, man. Talk to me.
What's up, Law?
Not much,
Long
man.
time no listen.
Yeah, man. I just got you saved in here as West Dallas, man. I guess that's your name, man. What's good?
Remember the last time I talked to you about George Pickens, man? I
you.
told you he was going to win you some games. He's going to lose you some games.
Yeah.
Right? We just got to accept him for who he is.
Yeah.
One thing we do not have to accept is this defensive coordinator. Please just bring in Wade Phillips, man.
Oh, that would be nice. That would be nice. Bring in Wade. Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of Eberflus regular ass.
Oh, I love it.
I'm sick and tired of him, man. Wade Phillips, he coached. Wade Phillips, he coached Clowney, did he not?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He got a couple of experience, but you know what I'm saying. This defense is a 3-4 defense, man.
Ooh, I see. Yeah. I see where you're going. Yeah.
He keep on running these zone plays, man, letting us get dropped 44 on our heads, man. Like I said, this season was already a wraps. I already told you before the season. I already knew. You know what I'm saying? We just didn't have the guys like that. Yeah. And I still got faith in Jerry Jones for at least bringing in somebody because we did not think he was going to bring in a top tier defensive tackle. But what did he do?
Yeah.
He turning the tables, man. Yeah. Somebody can bring in Wade, man. But that's all I got for you.
Yes, indeed. All right, appreciate you, man. I can't say the name, but I would say this. What we got here? Eric Stewart says, I understand, Law. I felt the same way when they cheated us in the Super Bowl in 2022. Well, you're going to hold on to that one, right? That's your Super Bowl. They think, hey, y'all should have swept the Chiefs or what have you. All right. Here's what I'm going to say about Matthew Eberflus. Can't say the name of the bird that told me all of this information, but it was coming from multiple resources. So I pulled to the side and I said, with all bull sugar aside, are these DB coaches any good? What's going on with the linebacker coach? What's going on with this team, man? with all bull sugar aside, and said, well, Law, Matthew don't allow these coaches to individually coach these guys. Normally, the DB coach is how structure's supposed to be. DB coach have his room where he teaching these guys their skill sets. The linebacker coach have his area where he coaches and he teach these guys their skill sets. And the D-line coach, they go to another room, but they are all lumped into one room. Confusion is there because Matthew don't want to get a bead into anything of the outside of him coaching in the room so he can have full control. To me, that's a problem. Because even if you are a school teacher, if you work into the public administrations, you know that smaller classrooms work because people can dial in. The levels of confusions of this Matthew Eberflus defense is bestowed upon everybody. We playing with inside leverage, right? And there's nobody there. Nobody there in the inside. We're seeing no carryover outside of the only room that increased or improved was the D-line. That's the only room that improved. We're still seeing glaring holes on the linebacker side, and I get it. I like what Overshawn is able to do, but it's still there's still weaknesses that we can see when it's COD with him. And that's life. That's just for what it is with injuries. But you can't tell me that there's been improvements. And we relied on this to happen. I think that if in order for this defense to improve, we're going to have to step into the areas of doing things that we didn't do previously. But the word of this year is going to be insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Angie says Matthew's supposed to be the linebacker whisperer. Bungazi is out there saying, hey, man, let me just get to these guys on my own right quick. Let me try to teach them something, you know. Let me get with them on my own, right? You know. It's just like driving the car and you got mom and them in your first time driving the car and they looking there and they in the passenger seat with you and they tell you, no, slow down. Put your seatbelt on. What you supposed to? Let me get this caller on. It is 336. You in the mix. Talk to me.
What's going on, Law?
Hey, all is well. Can't complain. What you got for me?
You know, I was thinking when I was watching the game, I was like, you know, we've made some progress, but there's a lot more that we need to do. I miss Al Harris. When he was coaching, man, those corners, those DBs was right. You know, I would love to have him back. If they're going to keep Eberflus, they need to get Al Harris back. I don't know if they'll be able to do that, but we still got to continue to elevate. Mm-hmm. We just got to continue to elevate. You know, some things that we're doing better at, that's for sure. But it's still a whole lot more we got to continue to work on. And you know.
All right, so this was reported, and now. This is somebody that's close, very close friend with Al Harris. I said, what's going on with it? You know, he didn't like the idea that he wouldn't have full control of DB room. He wanted full control of DB room. He do not want to be a defensive coordinator. So he went back home up to North. I think he played for Chicago Bears and he feel comfortable there. And he just want to work on his craft and work on his guys individually. So that's why he's not here now. He turned it down.
But when he was with Dallas, man, they was rocking. You know,
he was.
He had and you know when we get a new coach, they bring in their own staff. Sometimes they keep some of the staff, but you know we just got to find ways to continue to improve and get better. Last night was disappointing. You know, Dak was under duress the whole game. That offensive line just you know, but when you play great teams, you got to also elevate your play too.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to elevate, you know, because you know every team's gonna be coming at you different ways. And Dak was just man, those defensive guys was in his face the whole night. The whole night, you know, and they was coming too. They was coming 3, 4, 5 at a time. So, you know, we just got to find ways to continue to get better. You know, last night was, you know, not what we wanted to see, but that's what we got.
Exactly.
So now we're gonna have to get ready for the next one.
Man, you got to win out. You got to win out now and get things moving and grooving over there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, and I believe they'll have a bounce back game. We got 2 more games. We got 2 games coming up at home. And, and they got to take the next game up. You know, the Vikings is next. We got to deal with them.
No doubt, man.
You know, so. But hey, man, you're doing a great job, though, man.
Appreciate
if I don't hear you live, I always go back and get the replays. But
no doubt, man.
I laugh. I'll be laughing at the same time because it's fun to listen to you, but it's fun to hear some of the comments. But you know, we're gonna be all right. We just gotta keep working, man. You know, this thing is a work in progress.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you, man. Thanks so much, bro.
All right, man.
Thank you. All right, that's a good call from him. Yeah, my bad. He played for Green Bay, not for the Chicago Bears. But good call from my guy on that. And on top of that, you know, when you are comfortable within the confines of your system, Al Harris is very comfortable within the confines of that system up there. So I don't. There's a lot of blurred lines when it's dealing with the Cowboys. That's the safest way I can say that. There's a lot of blurred lines as it relates to the Cowboys. So that's all I'm going to say with that. All right, I got Too Cool for the 210. Man, you in. Talk to me, man.
Hey, Law.
What's up, man?
Why everybody acting like 10 games ago, 11 games ago, 9 games ago, the defense was suspect? Like they've been suspect. They've been suspect, right? What I can't stand is this. Like they do it to the Cowboys. The man performing like a top 4, putting up top 3 receiving numbers right now.
Right.
Man, not allowed to have a bad game.
Not allowed, man. That's once you get painted with that brush of loafing and not showing up on the road or not going through things, you can't get that off of you by being the Cowboys. Like Amari Cooper could never shook that off of him. You know what I'm saying? Like giving up on home games, injury prone. The media made it as if though Amari Cooper was such an injury prone that they forgot about Gallup's injuries. That Gallup was injured more than Amari Cooper. You know what I'm saying? And they said they got rid of Amari Cooper because he was injured and that he don't give us anything on the road. Well, even at half speed or whatever it was, halfway, it was better than what we seen up until this point until we got Pickens, which is crazy.
So the defense, right? The defense is what it's going to be. Like the defense is what it is. You know, I've been saying this since I've been on here. The offense has to carry. If the Cowboys go anywhere in the postseason, the offense has to carry them.
Yeah.
All these individuals that want the Cowboys to go out and do something right now, man, that's not going to happen, man. He went out and got Williams. That's a good start, man.
That's a good start,
Good start. That's a great start. But I'm telling you, mark it down. You can bookmark this call. In the past 25 years, a linebacker class like this one that's coming out right now has not been there. This is a great line. It's so good, I'll take 2 in the first round.
Okay.
It's that good.
Kind of like the year that Bill Parcells took Ware and spent and what was his name, Spears. Just took 2 defensive players.
Yeah. So because my thing is this though, like
One of them gonna hit.
Revere done played the whole year. Man, the man rusty too. Like, we can't expect somebody that ain't played 3 straight games or 4 straight games to come out there and get on St. Brown like he not a top 10 receiver in the league right now and just lock him down.
Yeah.
So that dude got to have growing pains too. We forget and we act like this man been playing the whole year. The dude ain't been playing the whole year. I got it. It was a must-win. It's one of those must-win games. But at the same time, we got to have some common sense too and look out there and just be like, okay, it is what it is. Trayvon Diggs is not Trayvon Diggs no more. Like, we just going hanging that up. Bland, he got paid to play in the slot. Bland is not an outside cornerback. I don't care what nobody say. That man is a slot corner. So if you put him out there, he's going to get embarrassed on the outside too. Revere will be all right. We're going to get Sonny Styles. We're going to probably get left tackle this year too. I think we're going to get a left tackle and a linebacker. I think that's what we take in the draft this year. But, man, just get, man, them boys all right, man.
In closing,
they would be all right, man.
Mm-hmm.
And Pickens worth every penny.
Yeah. He is. Go ahead and pay the man. Appreciate you, man. Too cool. Appreciate you.
All right, Law.
All right. 313 Cuddy, you live, man.
What's going on, Law?
Not much, man. Not much.
Hey, man, last night was disappointing, man.
It was.
That was disappointing, bro.
Oh my God.
I was just like, I'm like, come on, man, come on. Did you think that we would get dominated in the trenches the way that we did? I mean, like, that surprised me. Like I know. I
knew Hutchinson was going to win. I knew Hutchinson was going to win, but I didn't know that they're back. I didn't account for the Lions offense to be the way that they were, as far as protecting Goff. I didn't account for that.
Yeah. Like somebody said, we miss Clowney. We did. I mean, I know he's older, what have you, but I mean, when you add him with Williams and that makes a huge difference, and so I think we missed that. And I like Javonte, but man, we need some burst in that backfield too, man. Because they were just sending everybody. Like, they were just sending everybody up there and man, if we had a guy that just if you miss once, he gone. I would kill for a guy like Gibbs, man. If we had a guy like Gibbs to add, I mean, I know that's star, man.
You can get it, but it's gonna cost you. You can draft it, it's gonna cost you time, but you can get it, it's gonna cost you. Yeah, that's the only way, man.
I mean, but
and that's just how it is.
No, I think like you said, Law, we got to be better in the trenches. So those tackles, I mean, listen, if we don't fix that, that's going to keep reoccurring.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And Guyton, to me, I'm sorry. I mean, maybe it'd take him a couple more years. I don't know, but right now he's not the answer. Steele is definitely a liability over there. And so that's a problem. Those tackles are a problem, and then in defense, like you said, linebacker. So anyway, I just man, I appreciate you, man. Keep it up. I always listen to you. I turn the commentary down, watch the game.
Man, I appreciate it.
You know what I mean? That helped a lot, brother. So keep it up, man. I love these Cowboys. Like I said, it's only one way out as a Cowboy fan, man.
Amen.
And that's when I step on the other side, man. So how about the Cowboys?
How about it, man? When the Cowboys lose, man, it seems like it take a piece of us, y'all. It's the whole world stop, man. It takes us because we know it coming. We know everybody gloat when we lose, man. They got the mem fingers together. They get pride, boy. They walk around with their chests out and all of that good stuff. We do the same thing for other teams too, but it's magnified here when some of your biggest celebrity stars chime in. And this year been daunting, man, especially with heavy hearts, with losing, one of your just the craziest year. I don't think anybody had that on their bingo card. Like, this year was just crazy. Back to back, man, there's crazy defenses. We got to start stacking something and getting a philosophy together. And It's just for what it is. Let's get it, Cowboy Nation. Let's get it, man. I got to bounce like a basketball. I love y'all, man. I do, man. So if y'all didn't hear that today from anyone else, know that Law Nation love y'all. And as they say, love's a sin, love's a crime. Love is when you have grief and you ask God for a sign. Baby, my love run deeper than the sea. My love gonna get you. Yeah. I had to turn ESPN off. I feel you. I want us to finish strong. Play spoiler ball. Finish the season out strong. With the little bit that we do have, piece it together. Hey, man, give me the duct tape. Electric tape. And let's get things going. I don't know where we can go at from here. But if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting or lied about, don't deal in lies or hate it and yet give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can think and not make thoughts your aim, or meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, Pickens, or watch the things you gave your whole life for broken and stooped and built back up again with worn out tools. If you can unlock the true meanings of what it takes to be a man by walking with kings and presidents, nor losing the common touch, if you can bear to hear those type of things combined together, Cowboy Nation and everyone that's listening, you will get it. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Go Cowboys. Stand tall or not at all. Come on with it. DC for life, not for short. Peace. And roll those credits.